Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Easy Electronics channel with a brand new video, and today we got a special type of video since we will be talking about some things we will be doing in next couple of videos. So, and this is not a coincidence, I have this on the table. Let's get right into the video. So as you all know, I had been using this power supply behind the scene, in the scene, for a long time. And while it does have a basic functionality, it had lost its functionality after, we had made other power supplies. So specifically saying, this power supply right here that I made some time ago, which was a total success, and this handheld unit right here can easily outbeat this big power supply. And you ask why? Well, there is a couple of reasons why that happens. Why is this capable of supplying the same type of thing that this power supply does, and why this power supply is smaller and better than this power supply? Well, obviously it's adjustable, and most importantly, it's switch mode. So what does a switch mode power supply means? Well, it means one specific thing. There is a switching transistor that switches on and off, a coil of wire which is winded onto a ferromagnetic material, which gives us a couple things: step up, step down, and isolation. So we can do many things with the same principle. In this case, we are doing a step down here, and this one is doing a step up and step down. So with the switch mode converter or a power supply, we can easily use much smaller case while still getting the same type of output. And as depressing as it sounds, this little box beats this big power supply. And it's a shame. I mean, well, I built this about 1.5 years ago. Okay, well, that's not too bad, you'll say. Well, it is bad, since the original power supply that was in my first couple of videos had a LM338 IC, which has 5 amp outputs. Therefore, I had a 5 amp fuse, thermal fuse, so that made sense to me. Later on, it blowed up. Blowed up. Don't buy stuff from China. It blowed up. It wasn't a genuine one. It was only capable of 2 amps or so. Blowed up, and I had to redo all the circuitry and essentially make it a single transistor linear regulator. Well, I think it was 2 transistors, a linear voltage regulator, which produces ridiculous amounts of heat and is simply no good for any of the things. And since then I blowed one of the channels, so the transistor is right open, gives us 30 volts on the output, no good. The second channel is still working, but yeah, I am planning of making another power supply. So since switch mode converters are so efficient, and you can make them and have them in a really small package or enclosure, I went ahead and bought 2 boost converters, so they can take from 8 to 60 volts, and they can spit out 80 volts. Each one is rated for 1200 watts, which I really doubt by the capacitance I see on the input and output. I'll say you can safely pull maybe 600 watts from this thing and say it's safe. It does have, each unit has two 15 amp fuses in parallel, so 12 volt input, 15 amp at 15 amps. Do your math. Does it equal to 1200 watts? Probably not. But what they do actually claim is that is actually possible, because when you take the maximum voltage of 60 volts, you don't need a full 30 amps to reach 1600 watts. So this wouldn't be a most powerful and the best DIY power supply on YouTube if we didn't have an LCD. So just for the sake of actually making things better, you know, I had to have a LCD. So I was searching online, and there is a video I put out quite some time ago, and it's a mailbag video where I show all the things I bought online, and I had these in there, those in there, so you can watch that. It's going to be somewhere on the screen. Click on it, you're going to enjoy it. So essentially this thing can give us volts, it can give us amps, it can give us watts, and load. So it shows us load or no load, I assume. You press and hold the button on the bottom, and it switches to a different mode where it will show you volts, hours, amp hours, amps, and time. So it will count the time, so you can do a lot of measurements with this thing, and that is really handy. So essentially for $7, it's not a tea bag at all. I mean, you got all the bells and whistles you would want. It can measure your resistive loads, it can measure voltage, amperage, and wattage, ampere hours, count time for you. What else would you want? I have no idea. So that is all cool, and we're gonna have two of them. Yes, you heard me correctly. We will have a whole two of them for our power supply. The reason being, we're gonna have two power supplies, so two channels, and the idea is to limit each output, I'd say 55 volts, because this is only 60 volts maximum, and here's all the specs right there. 5 volts input for the meter, can measure from 0 to 60 volts DC, and 0 to 10 amps. So by doing all of that, what I'm planning to do is limit each output, well, we'll say 60 volts, and when that is done, we're going to limit each output to 10 amps. So we will only be able to pull 600 watts from each unit, giving us 1200 watts total for two channels. So that is not too bad. Now, as you can see, it's all still a prototype stage. I still have to take the old power supply apart, and I still have to do many planning, a lot of planning, and I have to make an enclosure and everything else. So I still have a lot of work to do, but I just thought I will make a quick video for you guys to kind of give you a quick look at what is going on at the lab. It's quite a mess all around me right now. I will be doing some cleaning because this project will take a lot of time to do. I don't know, week or two probably. I'm thinking to go for a vertical style of a power supply. So what I mean by that, the current power supply for the lab I have is like in landscape orientation. So we put it on the table, it's low, but it's wide. So the power supply I'm thinking of making will be more like this, where it's nice and narrow, but tall, which means it's gonna take less space on the table, and it's just, you know, it's just more looking like an actual lab power supply you would buy from a store. So that's about it for this video, guys. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, and let me know down in the comments what do you think about this, and what should I add to this new power supply. I mean, I still don't have all the parts. I kind of messed up on these potentiometers. I was ordering some potentiometers for a 10 turn, and I ordered the wrong one, so I thought this one would be something else, so I didn't even look at this potentiometer, but it's a 200K, and now I need a 200K potentiometer to regulate my, what is it, voltage. Yeah, I have no potentiometer to regulate my voltage, guys. That is absolute disaster. So yeah, first of all, as I said, we kind of get all the parts, see what we need. I'm open for suggestions. Second thing, we tear down the old power supply, not this one, the other one, and then we will build a metal enclosure, and then we put two ATX power supplies in there, isolate them, and have these two boost converters doing the job. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be an intense project, but the end product should be absolutely stunning. So guys, that's about it for this video. You all know what to do. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you hadn't subscribed already. And yeah, you're going to see some of my other videos on your screen. I really hope you click on some of them, and you'll make me the happiest person ever. And yeah, as always, see you in the next video.